What you're about to watch is the first podcast episode from the Supermoviebuff podcast. Mike, Mattias, and myself will be talking about the Oscars, our favorite movies of 2024, what we're looking forward to in 2025, and just various other things related to movies. We hope you enjoy it. We had fun making it. Welcome to the Supermoviebuff podcast. I'm your host, Patrick, with my co-hosts,
Mike, Mattias.
And we're here to talk about movies. So we just had the Oscars. I want to hear from everybody what we thought of what won Best Picture. So Nora won Best Picture. How do we feel about that?
I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything. I think you're not missing a week ago. I'm in Sweden, so I think it opened here like a week ago.
What would you have wanted to win from what you did see?
Let me check.
You didn't miss anything, Mattias. I don't. This is one I don't understand.
No,
I do not understand the appeal of this one.
With this one, Sean Baker haters in the chat.
Out of the nominated films, I liked The Substance the best, but I don't think that's a good Best Picture winner. Well, maybe it is. I actually loved most of it, so that's what I would have picked. But I've only seen 4 of them, so I can't really speak on it.
What are the 4 that you saw?
What questions I should have prepared.
It's all good. I'll add it so it'll be like immediately into...
Wicked was nominated, I think.
Yeah.
Which were nominated, maybe. That's the easier question.
Or you can just look at our chat.
Yeah. While he's doing that, Mike, what would you have wanted to win?
What I wanted to win was The Brutalist. That was my favorite of the nominated films. What I thought, I had heard Nora was getting a lot of traction. I was like, okay, it might win. I thought Wicked had an excellent chance.
I didn't think Wicked. I thought Conclave was honestly going to take it.
Yeah.
Between The Brutalist and Conclave, I'm like, one of those two are going to get it.
I wanted The Brutalist to take it. And actually, my favorite category that won was original score for The Brutalist. That score for me was amazing.
We got to talk about... So The Brutalist... Did you see The Brutalist?
No. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay. So you can still be a part of this conversation, though. Because it doesn't matter if you've seen the movie for what I'm about to talk about. So the whole thing, I've only seen about an hour of the movie. I'm not going to lie, I find it very pretentious. I'm having a hard time getting through it. But there's this whole thing about the movie where it's like this idea of like he comes to America and nobody wants the individually crafted, handmade thing, the beauty of it. They want like the generic replicas of a replica. But they used AI in the movie. And I feel like that goes against the very thing that the movie's trying to say. Like, that's like, no one wants original art, so we're going to use this computer program to make unoriginal art to tell our movie about original art. And that just really undermines the movie for me, knowing that they used AI on his voice, especially.
Yeah, but he
has clarified that statement.
So what did he clarify it as?
He clarified it as there was a recording problem, and he used AI to clean up the recording. To clean up because it was unclear what was being said for certain words for certain verbiages.
But then
it wasn't to clean up the actors of the performances. It was to clean up the recording.
But didn't they also use AI for some of the actual art in the movie?
We live in the world of Marvel, green screens and all of that.
But that's still like a human being is still behind all the CGI and all the green screening. Like a human hand still dealt with it, whereas with AI, there's no human element.
No human has ever built an AI before.
They built the AI, but then the AI
how to
makes
do
its
what
own
it
thing.
does and approved it. I mean, that didn't bother me very much. The stuff in the background, the models that were supposedly built on AI, I was like, okay, you gave me an amazing. It's also, I guess, I loved the movie so much that I was like, okay, like. You get ticked half a point. You're not 100%. You're 98. Like, you're okay. Like, it didn't bother me enough to like make it. I wouldn't have even noticed it had not there been sort of an uproar around it, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys you're not in like the TikTok community, but when Late Night with the Devil came out, it was found out that they used AI to make some of the title cards in the movie. It was huge. Like, people were furious, boycotting the movie, saying like,
wait, the devil wasn't real in that movie?
No, the movie.
They didn't get the devil to actually come in?
No. Like, they used AI for the place cards. Instead of getting an artist to draw retro-styled title cards for the movie, they used an AI art program to do it.
I don't know. I guess, if you want to keep the budget down a little bit in some ways, I'm okay with that. What did you think should win? Sorry, did you think Cosplay?
I'm the outlier. I really liked Nickel Boys. I thought that movie was just... I mean, I get why it didn't win. No one saw it. It made no money at the box office. It got very little buzz outside of like the critical praise that it got. But I just thought it was it just took risks. And that was cool to see.
It took me a minute with Nickel Boys to get over the gimmick of filming in the point of view style. So in the beginning, I actually laughed because it reminded me of those video games where you have like a non-playable character who like comes and approaches you and is like, "Come down this hallway, sir. Like, what are you doing?" And it kind of made me laugh. I got over it. I did. It did work eventually, but it took me probably a solid 15 minutes. And I did like the movie. Like, I didn't overall think it was I would not have been upset if it had won. Like, I did like it, but it took me a minute to kind of get over the point of view thing.
So I have a question on that. We're all adults here, mostly at least.
Yeah, in theory.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me, I'm still having a cold.
No, you're totally fine.
So you said you wouldn't be upset. I know what you mean by that, but is there any movie that if that had won, you would have...
Amelia Perez.
I'm sorry?
Amelia Perez. I would have been so fucking mad that movie won.
Okay.
Honestly, for me, it was Anora.
See, no, like, Anora was a better movie. Anora was at least a competently made movie.
No. I enjoyed Amelia Perez for the musical mess that it was. I had a fun time watching this mess unfold on screen. Also, I don't like... Patrick knows this about me. I don't like horror movies, so I hated The Substance, but I expected to hate it. I don't like horror movies, so like...
Yeah, but can you see it for what it is and appreciate it as a horror movie that you hate? Or is it just that you can't get past it and you can't...
I hate getting scared. I will watch it. Okay. I will watch scary. So like, I found it really... And then that last 20 minutes it was too much for me. That last 20 minutes, I was like, I can't. I was able to appreciate Demi Moore's performance. I did think she was... But I think that was also a little bit more of like, oh, I've never seen Demi Moore play this character before, so that's interesting. I think that kind of played into it for me. I think if she was just like some nameless, Jane Smith or something, I don't know if I would have liked it as much or paid attention to it as much.
So let's go back a few years, just to get this question right. Let's say Saving Private Ryan didn't win, and Shakespeare in Love won. People are still upset. Goodfellas didn't win. Dances with Wolves won. People are still upset. Think that's the biggest upset in the world.
Black
are you
Klansman
people who
win.
can just?
Green Book
It's
won.
just an award show.
Yeah. It is just an award. Like my anger is very tempered by the fact that it's like an award show. Like I'm not taking to the streets on this issue. Like,
not burning any cars.
No, not burning any cars.
I didn't even watch. So I just refreshed the news read about it. Like, what won? I'm just like refresh.
Yeah. So did I. And the other ones that I've seen Substance, Dune 2, Conclave, and Wicked. And I would have picked Conclave out of those four. I wanted to see Emilia Perez because why not?
Yeah.
And I wanted to see Anora, but I haven't been able to. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Let's do some other categories then.
Was there any category
in animated category? Have you seen any of those?
So I saw Inside Out 2. I saw Memoirs of a Snail. What was the other ones nominated? There was a couple others.
The robot, the wild.
Oh, Wild Robot. The only one I didn't see was Flow.
Flow actually won.
And Flow won. What are your thoughts on that?
I was fine with Flow winning. I haven't seen it, but from everything I've heard about it, it's really exciting that it won. Also, I'm just glad Inside Out 2 didn't win. Like, comparatively, like, I felt like it's fine as like a Disney sequel. It just didn't reach the heights of the first movie by any means. And then, like, when it's up against films like Memoirs of a Snail, which is just like incredible movie, and then Wild Robot was so good and so original and explored so much subject matter, and then Flow is also supposed to be really, really good. I just felt like there's always the Disney movie always gets nominated, but I'm glad it's not always winning anymore.
Yeah,
the backlash from Toy Story 4.
Did that win?
Yeah, I think so.
What was it up against? I can't imagine it winning. Like, it's not that good.
I think it's How to Train Your Dragon 3, I think, and there were some others that should have won, but I'm pretty sure Toy Story 4 won. And that's, I mean, I like Toy Story 4, but it's not
okay, but it's not.
I was surprised that Inside Out didn't win just because Pixar has a habit of winning. And so I was kind of like, oh, it probably will win, which is fine. But, like, you know, of those animated movies, the only two I had seen were the Wild Robot and Inside Out 2. So, and between those two, I liked them both a lot, but I liked Inside Out 2 a little bit more. I wouldn't mind if this won, but the only thing I kind of wish I love documentaries, and I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get a chance to see any of them, much less the one that won.
I didn't see any of the documentaries. And for international movies,
all about the Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, and that one was really good.
And I'm going to have a marathon with some friends and watch all their short films, and the first one and then this one. I loved Flow, but I really loved Memoir of a Snail. That's my favorite, but I don't have a problem with either of them winning. And I really liked Inside Out 2 as well. I thought it was not as good as the first one, but my what's called mental issues very much hit the nail on how I felt I was her age. So that's really close to home. So yeah, that's how I feel. So documentaries. I haven't seen any of them either.
I didn't see any.
It's a hard category to find.
Yeah. Did you see any of them, Patrick? Did you have an opinion on?
No. No, not this time.
Yeah. Which I generally love documentaries, and so I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get a chance to see them. But you know, and obviously my parents being Arab, like I was interested in the fact that one won. So I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. What was the name of it again?
Oh, I don't remember. This is Our Land, something like that, right?
Maybe. I'll look it up later.
Does that sound right? Our Land or something like that?
That's that one. It was the controversial one, the Palestine-Israel one.
Yeah, Palestine and Israel. I'm curious if there was any category that won that you guys were like for me, I was rooting hard for the Brutalist to win the score. Like that was the one that I was like, oh please God, if I can. I knew I couldn't get Best Picture. I didn't think the Brutalist would win, so I kind of gave up that ghost. But like that was the one that I was like, please, if I get one, give me this one. And I was so excited. I'm curious if any of you had a similar experience to something that won, that you were like, yes, this is the one I wanted you to win. Like, I don't know.
Not this year for me. Like last year, I felt like I had a lot more that I wanted to win, get that nominated. Because I think like last year, like Pinocchio, I believe won Best Animated Picture and like all that. But this year, I didn't really like have a strong investment in really any of the movies. Other like maybe like The Substance. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have another question about the Oscars that I seem to be in a minority. Do you say that this year's winners are the winners of the Oscars 2024 or 2025?
I'd be 2024 because they're 2024 movies.
Yeah, but it's the award show is 2025.
Yeah, but it's for 2024's movies.
Yeah, but it's the award show in 2025.
Yeah, so but it's the 2024 Oscars.
2025, that is about last year's movie. Otherwise, I think it's very confusing when you talk about, it's the 1973 winner. When you think that, it's 72 movies. That's the obvious.
But I guess I wouldn't call this, like if I was talking like Mike, for instance, I wouldn't be like, the 2025 winner. I would say the 2024 winner, this like Nora, because it won for being out in 2024. Because there's a deadline. The movie had to be released by December of 2024.
I get that, but the show is 2025. So because if it's in March or February, it's 2025.
I guess if I'm referencing the award, saying what year if I'm saying hey, what was the winner of the 2016 Best Picture Oscars, I'm referencing the time at which the award was given, not when the movie came out. But if I'm referencing Anora, if I say, hey, I really want to see this movie Anora, it's really good or something, and people are asking me, when did Anora come out or something, then I would use the year that the movie came out. But in terms of the award, I would give it I reference the date the award was given.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like if it's on a trivia question, which was the Oscar winner of 2024? Is that Anora or is it last year's, whichever that was? I don't remember. To me, that's
Oppenheimer. I think.
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Oppenheimer was good, but I wrote a whole thing about how Barbie should have won. That was fun. Made a lot of people angry.
I agree.
But in reference to your question, I'm like you, Mattias. I would use the date the award was given as the reference point.
This is the things that I think about, not who won and so on. So let's talk about, should Demi Moore have won the Oscar?
I mean, a lot of people are like complaining that she didn't win. I think the actress in Anora, I think she did a really good job, like with what she had. Like she felt believable as that character. Like I don't know, like acting is. I struggle with acting more than I think the whole package of like Best Picture, because it's so subjective. Like, what is a good performance? Like, what are you looking for?
You know what was really funny about Anora for me? I did think she gave an excellent performance. I think she conveyed that character well. I thought the accent was great. I thought her characterization was great. The problem was it was so realistic. I think I know people who speak and think like her, and I don't want to be around them.
That's what I don't like.
I didn't want to be around her. Was the problem? I was like, oh my god, you're doing this so well, but I don't want to be around your energy at all. So for me, if I had, my vote would have gone to the girl who did Joan Baez, whose name I can't remember right now.
Who did what?
Who played Joan Baez in the Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown.
Oh, was it Ellie Fanning?
No, it was I can't remember her name.
Monica Barbaro, maybe.
Thank you. Yeah, that would have been
a supporting role. She was nominated as a supporting character.
Oh, then maybe I don't remember. Maybe I don't remember who I would have said. But it
was Mike Madison, Fernanda Torres, Demi Moore, Carla Sofia Gascon, everybody's favorite, and Cynthia Erivo.
Oh, Cynthia, I did. Cynthia, I thought would win for Wicked. That would have been my choice.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
No one's talking about.
But have you guys ever had that problem with the performance that you're like, the performance is great, and you are actually so realistic that I don't want to be around you because
It's funny that you say that, because that's my issue with Sean Baker's movies. Like I hated Red Rocket because it just the guy in it's like such a douchebag, but he's like so realistic in his portrayal of like that sleazy guy that I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like he's just as good at capturing those kind of characters.
I haven't had any characters, but I've had movies like it. where there was a character in an old Australian movie with Kate Blanchett. I don't remember what it's called, but she works in a video store, and I had a video store a while back, and she had many money problems that I didn't have, but everything else about her except her economical problems it was me basically. And I couldn't watch it. I hated it. I hated watching the movie. I hated the movie. I hated her. Not because she was a bad person. I just hated everything about the movie. And I don't watch it again. So, yeah.
So we got to talk about the biggest snub at the Oscars was that David Lynch did not get a big, like, he's such a big part of like the film industry. He created like just reinvigorated surrealistic film. We got a 15-minute interpretive dance for James Bond, but then
which was beautiful but confusing. I was like, why?
Well, because it's like now that they're giving it to Jeff Bezos, everyone's like, it's over now. There's never going to be a good James Bond movie again.
So wasn't he in the Memoriam?
He was in the Memoriam, but it's just like if you're going to do like a big tribute to somebody that influenced Hollywood, like his death, it shook up everybody.
And in a weird way, they didn't give a big tribute to him, but they isolated Gene Hackman. Like they gave a specialized tribute, I guess. Not a huge one, but so I kind of would have expected that for David Lynch too. David Lynch, I'm all over the map, like with him. Like I loved Blue Velvet. That to me is amazing. Forgive me for asking, did he do The Elephant Man, or am I thinking of someone else?
No, he did The Elephant Man. Yeah.
I love The Elephant Man as well. But then there were like, I know some people love the one with Nicolas Cage.
Wild at Heart? You don't like Wild at Heart?
It missed me on that. And then I loved the first 2 seasons of Twin Peaks, and then I think I tried to binge watch the 3rd season, and it's not really a binging.
No.
Like, I got exhausted by the 6th episode, and then I kind of just forgot about it, like, let it go.
I love the first season. I think the pilot is probably the best pilot episode ever.
Yeah.
And then it goes downhill very quickly in the 2nd season. I think it's basically when he leaves. It's ridiculous in a bad way, and I don't like it. I watched it through when a few years ago, and then I tried to rewatch it, but I can't get through the 2nd season because
the second season is they just introduce all these like really bad subplots, just like the James with the older woman, and so a lot of it hasn't aged well. Like the studio forced them to reveal the killer because originally they were never going to reveal who the killer was, and then the studio's like, you got to do it, you don't have a choice, and so they had to like do that, and then that's the show. Like there's no more show after you do that. So they're still trying to, but then the 3rd season is like a deconstruction of TV reboots and nostalgia baiting, and just the most like, because he's like, you miss Dale Cooper? Well, you're not going to get him back.
Okay. I haven't seen the 3rd season yet.
The 3rd season it's 18 episodes, so 18 hours, completely written by David Lynch and Mark Frost and directed by David Lynch. And he shot it as a movie that he cut into 18 episodes.
Okay.
So it's just pure David Lynch weird.
Yeah.
But you got to watch the prequel movie first, the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
I have seen that, and I hated it.
I did not like it as much the first time, but as I've gotten older and revisited it, it's actually rose to the top of my David Lynch favorites.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Years after I've seen the show, so I didn't remember the show that much.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard too because like the show is like, I'm quirky and I'm gonna like talk about donuts and cherry pie, and then the movie's like, my father is doing these horrible things to me. I have no friends. I'm doing drugs. Like the movie is so depressing and dark, and like the show has moments like that, but the movie just like there's no humor, there's no brevity. It's just like just depressing. The movie's a lot.
It's funny. The first David Lynch movie that I saw was Mulholland Drive. But I think I was too young. I was maybe 14 when I saw it, something like that, and I think I remember I haven't seen it since then, and I remember really hating it. Though I don't remember why. I remember going, "This is too weird for me."
I could see 14-year-old Mike hating. I probably not have liked it at 14 either.
Yeah,
my first Lynch was Eraserhead when I was about 14 as well.
What was your experience with that?
Yeah, I hated it so much. It was so bad. I hated everything about it. And then I watched Twin Peaks and I liked it. And then I've seen some other stuff. Yeah. And then I rewatched Eraserhead a couple of years ago. And I still don't understand everything because I don't like movies where I have to interpret things because I'm not very good at it. But I love I love the result of it, even though I don't understand everything.
Yeah. I mean, Eraserhead is an interesting movie because I feel like it feels really abstract, but it's also really straightforward because it's a story about a guy that gets a girl pregnant, then they break up, and he's left with this baby, and now he's trying to figure out his life as a single dad. That's the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but the way he gets to there is through like super weird imagery.
You know, Mattias, this is an interesting story for me about me and Patrick because we met through Patrick's ex. His ex went to college with me, and so that's how we met. And when we started talking, we found out we both loved movies, and he talked to me about loving David Lynch, and I was like, oh, Drive guy, really? Like, okay, like whatever. And the first movie I came back home, and at least as I remember it, Patrick might remember it differently. You sent me the DVD of Mulholland Drive.
I thought I sent you Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet.
I sent you Blue Velvet.
You said, please just give this a shot. Like, you may not like it. And I loved it. And I went, wow, me and Patrick are going to be friends. Like, this is going to be okay. Like, we're going to get along just fine. Like,
that's another one that I've seen it once and I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But not more than that.
Yeah.
But I think it's also about subjects that I don't know that much about. I don't really like the dark side of I don't like, it's not a crime movie, but you know what I mean, about bad guys that are, it's not really my thing. But I'm going to watch it again because, Elephant Man is one of my favorite movies as well. So
Elephant Man is fantastic. You know, I rewatched it recently. It just really holds up.
I'm curious for either of you. I don't think I know the answer to this to either of you. Is there a particular director that maybe you saw him at the right time and he was the reason you fell in love with movies, regardless of whether you like him now, like maybe you hate him now or whatever, but was there a director that caught you at the right moment and it suddenly kind of clicked in your brain that, oh, this is a movie, this is something different, and like made you kind of fall in love with it a little more?
Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've got that exactly because Woody Allen. I got to be careful how I talk about them. Mattias knows what I'm talking about. But
for me, it was Quentin. And specifically, it was Kill Bill. I saw the first Kill Bill movie, and for some reason, all those visual styles, because I read a lot as a kid, so reading was my thing, and I saw all those, especially when he killed the 500 men or whatever, like the people in that house. There was something in that it clicked in my brain, and I went, oh, this could only happen in a movie. He's playing with genres in the same way that would happen in a novel, but in a visual form, and it clicked in my brain in that moment. And that's what kind of made me fall in love with him, was Quentin.
No, I had that. I rented Woody Allen's Love and Death from the Hollywood videos back when those were around. And I'd never, because he like mixes like philosophy and like sex jokes and puns and like all of these things. And it's like, up to that point, I'm watching like PG-13 schlock movies, you know. And so seeing that and watching the way that like, it felt like he was saying something deeper, even though it was a comedy. I was just like.
Yeah, for me, I'm going old school. I watched 39 Steps.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah,
we're going to have to watch that, Mike. I haven't seen it either.
It's one of his British films before he came to America, and it's everything. It's his classic shtick, which is an innocent man is being chased by the bad guys and the police, and he has to run. He meets a girl that is involved with the bad guys somehow, and then he has to fix it. And then the ending is it's everything you want in a movie, and it's I think it's beautiful.
Okay, 39 steps. I got to remember that.
All right, Mike, that's our mission. I think we got to do. We got to figure out like a movie of the month kind of thing, so we can all have like a recent film to discuss. Speaking of recent films, I want to know what, not Oscar related, but what was your favorite movie of 2024 that you saw? And it can be a movie, because I know, Mattias, sometimes movies came out differently over there. So just what came out in 2024 for you?
When I count the movies, I count the year they came out in the original language.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So for me, it's 2024 is Memoir of His Name.
For me, honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest. I had my first baby last year, so I sort of suspended watching movies like in theaters for a while. The one that comes to there's actually two that come to my mind. This is the actual answer I'm going to give, which is Furiosa. Like, I loved that one. I think he is a phenomenal. I think George Miller like always somehow like spans genres, but like always comes out with movies that are so interesting. Like, and I loved Furiosa. The one that I loved more than anyone else appears to have loved was Joker 2. Like, I had so much fun with that one. I really enjoyed it, but I don't want to necessarily light a bomb in our first.
No, that's good. That's what you want. I will say though, Amelia Perez was so bad. It made me feel better about Joker 2. Like, looking back on it, I was like, maybe Joker 2 wasn't as bad. But for me, it was
top four of mine from last year. I loved it as well. I think it's
Furiosa. You said
no, Joker 2.
No.
Yeah, I'll be on an island. Mattias, you and I can have the island together.
Yeah, you're not alone. I see a lot of people like it. For me, it was I Saw the TV Glow. That was like the movie. I can't stop thinking about that movie.
My favorite movie that I saw last year, like regardless of whatever year it was, though, was and I know I've talked to some people about this, and I don't know why this movie really stuck in my head and in my heart, but it was Knox Goes Away with Michael Keaton, playing a hitman who has dementia and is losing his memory as the final mission goes on. And I love this, but without giving it away, I think the ending is beautiful. I think the ending is poetic and beautiful, and somehow it has stuck. It's stuck in my head the whole year. Like,
it was a good movie. Michael Keaton did a great job. I mean, I didn't like it as much as you did, but I definitely thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. What about for you? What movie did you see last year, regardless of when it was released, that was perhaps your favorite movie of the year?
For me, it was Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
I need to see that one still. I hear only good things about it.
It's on Netflix, Patrick, so...
maybe I'll watch that tonight.
I didn't watch anything last year that I gave a 5 out of 5, but that one was the closest. And then on the cinema I saw at the beginning of last year, I saw, and I'm sorry for those people who like the original, but it's a musical, and it's The Color Purple, the musical version.
It was good. I saw that too. That was good.
But they have me already by being a musical, so I'm very sold already.
Yeah,
that's legit. So, what this year are we looking forward to seeing?
I don't know what's coming out. I haven't followed much, but I'm looking forward to, because I'm a dinosaur nerd, so I'm looking forward to Rebirth, Jurassic World Rebirth.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I think it can be. I mean, I like especially Jurassic World, but if they just do it a little more scary, not the horror movie necessarily, but just a little more scary, that the dinosaurs are actually dangerous and people are actually dying.
It definitely looks scarier from the trailers. Yeah. There's like a part where they're like trying to get through this like riverbank, and there's like a sleeping T-Rex, and they can't like make any noise. Like, I like those moments of just like tension.
Yeah. That's not the biggest problem, but that's one of the problems with the Dominion. That you watch the movie and yeah, some people might die but it's not. There is no stake in it. It's just well, it wasn't a random dude who no one cares about. You don't want the lead characters to die necessarily, but
you want the danger to be there.
In Lost World, when the guy is eaten by the T-Rexes with the cars where he's trying to get them up, that's a very tense moment. It's a silly scene because it's Spielberg, but it's a very very tense scene because of what happens and how it happens. And you don't want that guy to die because he's only trying to help. So, yeah.
How about for you, Mike?
I'm like Mattias. I'm really struggling to think about somehow. Like I wind up watching so many like classic movies, and I'm really watching a lot of TV now. So I don't even know what's getting released. I know that I do want to see the new Captain America, but that already got released. I'm kind of interested in there. I saw an ad the other day for a Rami Malek thriller called like The Apprentice or something like that. Mm-hmm. That looked really good. I'm kind of struggling honestly to like remember what's even being released this year.
No, it's all good. I'm personally really excited for the new Superman movie. Like that is like July is going to be a great month because we got the Superman movie, we got the Fantastic Four movie, and we have the new Jurassic Park movie, all in the same month. Like I'm going to be busy.
Yeah. Okay. I take the Fantastic Four and Superman movie. I don't know. Superman so far in film, he's so overpowered that it's hard for me to like be super interested in him as a character.
Well, have you seen the trailer for the Superman movie, Mike?
Yeah.
It does look like
they're find a way to kind of humanize him a little bit to kind of.
It kind of looks like they're kind of taking that angle with it. It's a little bit more like.
Yeah.
Oh, it should be interesting.
Yeah.
So, what have you guys seen this year that you've been liking so far? Whether it's a new movie that came out this year or just something you saw this year.
Can I say The Brutalist again? Because I saw
it. Did you rewatch it? You can't. You can't
plug it in one more time.
It's just not maybe an interesting answer, but you can say it.
I would say that one, and the other one actually is a movie. I want to say 1967 Japanese film called. I'm misremembering it. Trial by Hanging or something like that. And it's I really love it because it is this absurd Kafka-esque nightmare. This guy gets executed and the execution gets botched. But when they realize he's not dead, there's a catch-22 in the law that says you cannot execute a man who doesn't recognize the crime that he's been committed for. And he wakes up with amnesia because he has brain damage. And so the bureaucratic system has to do this hilarious, like even recreation of the murders, going back and getting volunteers to be the victims for them to kill, like for him to remember who he is. And it's really funny because he doesn't remember who he is. So the whole film is a projection on him by the other people who are going, this is who you are. This is why you did it. He's like, okay, I don't remember that, but okay. Like,
what was the title?
And it's really funny. It's really, I think it's Death. I think it's called Death by Hanging. I should get better about looking up the.
You're gonna have to start taking notes so when we come in for next session.
It actually, I found it because Martin Scorsese famously wrote a list of 39 foreign films that any director should see.
Well, there you have it. That's the first episode of the Supermoviebuff podcast. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. Be tuning in next time when we talk about the movie When a Monster Calls. Until next time.